Hi, this is Dr. Peggy Symingson. I want to give advice for getting the edge when looking for an elementary teaching position, whether that's a classroom instructional position or perhaps a literacy specialist or reading coach position. So a couple of ideas, and some of my big ideas are you want to have an edge and you want to present yourself as a totally together, with it in the know person who knows about what's important to students and to administrators, who it's likely you'll be talking to a school administrator during your interview. And so a couple of, just real quick, some of the key points you'll want to talk about are your qualifications, how you manage behavior, how you use data-driven instruction in the classroom with literacy learning, how you teach and manage writing instruction as its own subject, how you will focus on technology and 21st century learning. And you also want to talk about your goals as a teacher, especially if you're a new teacher. You want to mention things like, I'm willing to learn more about technology, I'm willing to learn more about working with bilingual and English language learners, I'm willing to learn more about dyslexia and autism, etc. That shows your openness and willingness to be part of a team. And so first of all, you want to talk about your qualifications. This includes your certifications and any experiences you have, anything, tutoring, if you did a case study, talk about those, go through those in your head before the interview so you can play to your strengths in terms of what you have done. And then also, secondly, something that's of primary importance in the classroom is how you'll manage and support positive behavior from your students. And this is a complex question, and you just want to talk about expectations, setting explicit and clear expectations, having a good feeling tone in your classroom, creating an engaging environment with a focus on student achievement and success, etc. So also, so beyond managing behavior, you want to talk about the positives. What sort of system encourages students to be nurtured and to grow in your classroom? Will you have a system in place? As you work with small group guided reading, if that is the grade level you'll be targeting, then you want to talk about what are the other kids doing while you're there with small group instruction with the teacher. Whether that's a system like Daily 5, talk about what are the other kids doing. Even if they don't ask you these things, be ready to discuss them. Something else with data-driven instruction is you want to talk about how data will inform your teaching, and that can be on a daily basis and a weekly basis and more of a quarterly basis, right? Benchmark time. And so you want to talk about how with reading and writing instruction, you really look at data daily, informally, as well as more formally, and use that to drive your instruction. Data drives instruction. And you really want to target your instruction for kids who may need a boost, like students who aren't meeting the goals of the grade level, students who are English language learners who have maybe vocabulary and other language needs. How can you, work with them? And also talk about students with dyslexia. How will you make modifications? Have some ideas. And also students with autism. How will you work with students and support them and families as well? So data-driven instruction and differentiation, you need to be able to talk about those things. And then also writing instruction. Writing instruction needs to be well managed. You need to talk about the writing workshop approach and how you will model the writing process. And you will use conferring one-on-one, be able to talk about working with students in small groups and one-on-one to help meet their needs and move them along in their own writing. And how will you use technology with writing instruction, with digital writing? So will you use social networking sites like Edmodo? Will you use blogging software like KidBlog? Have some technology-based ideas to talk about, especially writing instruction. And then a couple more things. You really want to talk about technology and 21st century learning. What do 21st century learners need to know? So I would Google 21st century learning and read as much as you can and talk about that. You know, kids need to be able to work collaboratively, socially, respond using technology tools, etc. And also, you need to talk as well about your own goals. So this is kind of my last point. Your goals can include, again, I would keep that technology focus strong. You want to use a lot of tools with kids in meaningful and purposeful ways. Know about using iPads in the classroom. Ask about what tools are available and supported in the district. And a couple of questions that they might ask you. Let me go through those. They might pose to you these open questions, and you need to be ready to give a 1 minute or less summary to respond to them. So some questions I've been asked and I've seen are, how do you teach reading instruction? And I've also heard, how do you teach writing instruction? They might ask you, tell about a literacy lesson that you've taught that is aligned with the state standards. How do you differentiate instruction? How does data inform your teaching? How do you work with disengaged students and motivate them? What is your guiding philosophy of teaching reading or writing? And so those are some tips. I hope that you can really think about some of these things. And good luck to you in your job search.